Hello from Merignac, France. Welcome to the Falcons 6X Rollout Show. I'm your host, Miles O'Brien. We're doing something a little bit different this year, aren't we all? Instead of violins and Versailles, the virus has put us in the virtual world. But that in no way diminishes the excitement we have for the accomplishment that we herald today. Once again, a Dassault Falcon has redefined business aviation. You know, Merignac is a very important stop along the long journey from an idea to an exquisite product. But it's not the only place where special things happen. The spacious cabin of a Falcon 6X will be turned into a luxurious home and office in the sky by the skilled craftsmen in Little Rock, Arkansas. But Merignac is a special, magical place. This is where Falcons come together and first take flight. Welcome to the Falcons Nest, a sprawling complex of graceful buildings, classic and contemporary, home to Dassault's traditions, technology, and technicians. It is unique in the world of aviation, the only place where state-of-the-art fighters come to life beside equally cutting-edge business jets. In this corner of Bordeaux, the beautiful, bold vintages never stop improving. The roots go back 70 years. Not long after World War II, company founder Marcel Dassault chose this site to build the Flamand, a liaison airplane for the French Air Force. The success of this aircraft catapulted Dassault on a path toward repeated success building military aircraft here. The Ouragan, Mystère 4, Super Mystère B2, Mirage Models 3, 4, F1, and 2000, and of course, the Rafale. But what happened here on May 4th, 1963 sent Merignac to new heights, the first flight of the Mystère 20. Among those watching, a delegation from Pan American Airlines led by Charles Lindbergh. They were looking to start an air charter business, and within a few months purchased 40 planes with an option to buy 120 more. The aircraft, renamed the Falcon 20, changed the face of business aviation. For 57 years, Falcon after Falcon after Falcon has rolled out of hangars here to take flight and bring the world together. More than 10,000 aircraft have been built here, 2,600 of them Falcons. Today, Merignac is building for the future. The finest craftsmen and the smartest engineers are here, using state-of-the-art technology to design and build new aircraft. The Falcon 6X is just the latest baby, the best and brightest, of course, to hatch from this high-tech nest. Joining me now in the Lindbergh hangar here in Merignac is the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Dassault Aviation, Eric Trappier. Eric, congratulations on this day.
Hello, welcome at Dassault Merignac.
It's great to be here. Marcel Dassault's life story is one of resilience writ large. It seems to me for you to get to this point in the midst of a pandemic proves that spirit, that DNA lives on in this company.
Yes, Marcel Dassault was a symbol of resilience, and what he lived during World War II is really exceptional. And what is more exceptional is as soon as the World War II was over, he started back the company here in Merignac.
Let's talk a little bit about the 6X. What were your key goals that you set out to accomplish for your customers when you began this program?
Well, the keys are: one, efficiency. Number two is comfort. So it's something which is important for us. 6X is going to be a 5,500 nautical miles range, LA to Moscow, and that's really a nice range. But what is great with the 6X is the roomy fuselage and the width of the fuselage. That gives really this cabin a great comfort by keeping the flexibility of all our Falcon, and that is very important for our customers.
It's an incredibly safe aircraft too, isn't it?
Yes, safety is something which is over everything. I mean, thanks to the flight control system, we have a very safe aircraft, but thanks also to the flight control system, we have a very smooth flight, and that is good for the passengers.
Let's talk about the production process a little bit here. It's really a marvel to behold, and it's a combination of people and machines, a lot of machines. Tell us about the digital impact on the production of the aircraft.
We are producing and designing our aircraft thanks to the tools of our sister company, Dassault System, who is a world leader in his fields. And thanks to those tools, we ensure the quality of our products.
All right, so please tell me the machines haven't completely taken over for the human beings just yet.
Yeah, of course, human factors remain very important, but the association of the tools and the human know-how of our teams is really unique because it is also based on the long experience on both Falcon family, but also combat fighters family.
Always keep the human in the loop, right?
For
Very
sure,
important.
for sure.
All right.
And it's good because the same with the pilots.
Absolutely.
The pilots on board the aircraft with the flight control system, they are still the control of the aircraft.
That's the Dassault philosophy. You know, the Falcon family here has been very, very busy these past months pulling this beautiful aircraft together. And when you think about it, it's really almost like a ballet of manufacturing. Let's see how it all came together, condensed down into about a minute.
A new flight experience is in the making. Not just another jet, an aircraft like no other, guided by skilled hands and watchful eyes. With a new level of spaciousness and leading-edge technologies, executed by brilliant engineers and superb craftsmen, always looking to innovate, incorporating military advances into business jets. Their dream is now a reality, born of countless hours of design, ingenuity, and manufacturing precision, essential to the balance, agility, and unmatched efficiency that make this Falcon a Falcon.
A rollout, whether it is in person or virtual, as we're doing today, is more than just an event on the calendar. It's the manifestation of so many years of hard work coming together. It's kind of like the birth of the baby, the culmination of so many years of hard work by a talented, diverse team. Eric, why don't you do the honors?
Yes, here we are. Let's take a look on this new beautiful aircraft, this new Falcon, the 6X.
What a beautiful sight that is, isn't it? Let's just take it all in. It's gorgeous.
It's a very beautiful aircraft, yeah.
This is hull number 3. It's being escorted by test pilots Fabrice Tom Villette, formerly of the French Navy, Bruno Ferry, formerly French Air Force, and compagnons Clarice Cadet, Julien Rigolet, and Arthur Siega. Well done, all of you. You know, Marcel Dassault famously once said, as you well know, for an airplane to fly well, it must be beautiful. And certainly this is a beautiful aircraft.
We have been able to continue the same story with beautiful aircraft and new aircraft, yes, good.
But tell us a little bit about what's underneath that beautiful wrapper, because it's an extraordinary cabin.
Yeah, I think, as I said before, the cabin is important, and the size of the cabin, the way you will live in the cabin. It may be an office with all the right means, communications, for emails, for your mobile or whatever, but it's also a living room where you may rest, where you may have a dinner, where you may have lunch, where you may have your team around to prepare the next stage of your trip. At the end, what is important is passengers should arrive and reach the destination well rested.
Well, why don't we take a quick look inside?
Yes,
okay?
Let's give a look inside.
All right. Joining me now in the Lindbergh hangar is the Executive Vice President in charge of Civil Aviation for Dassault Aviation, Carlos Brano. Carlos, great to see you. Tell us a little bit more about this fantastic cabin.
Well, the Falcon 6X cabin is the largest by width and by height in its class. And actually, more importantly, when it will be transferred to Little Rock, Arkansas to get its completion done, the teams over there will make it the classiest cabin in the world. We have a full-size mock-up on display at Le Bourget, Paris. Would you like to see it?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Carlos, I am ready for the grand tour. Where should we begin?
Welcome, Miles. We are going to begin where every passenger began, which is the main entry door. And we just step up, into the galley area.
It's spacious, and of course the thing I noticed right away is this beautiful skylight.
Well, that's correct. The skylight is one of the many innovations you have in the 6X. Actually, it allows to have natural light into an area which traditionally is a little dark. So this is not only a way to welcome nicely the passengers, but it's also a convenience for the crew because they can work in a very nice environment as well.
So I am 6 feet tall and no problem, plenty of headroom in this cabin.
That's right, and you will see when we enter the cabin the impression of volume you have, and should you be 6 feet 6 inches tall, you wouldn't have to stoop anyway.
Let's go take a look.
If you want to take a seat, Miles.
I certainly do. You know, we are far enough apart here in this roomy cabin. Let's take our masks off, shall we? I think we can do that safely. So the first thing I notice is it's just got a great feel of elegance. I love the colors and the materials. For lack of a better term, it has French style.
As you can see, this is a contemporary style. So the furniture is sleek, very smooth, and it flows very well with the cabin itself.
Ambiance is more than just the sleek lines and the materials and the colors. Lighting is a big part of that.
That's correct. We have, of course, the natural light, so the windows, which are in fact bigger than the one we had on the other Falcons. And also we have the artificial mood light, which gives some colors to the cabin lighting and allows the customer to be in the mood with the cabin.
there are invisible features that affect the mood and the atmosphere as well. Tell us about those.
Actually, you have many of them. The comfort of the cabin is, the cabin pressure. The highest it is, the closer you are from the ground, and of course, the better you breathe, the better you feel inside the cabin. The second element, which is also very important, is a quietness. You know that the 8X is a reference in terms of quietness in the cabin. The 6X would be at least at the same level. Then after, you have the smoothness of the ride. So thanks to the digital flight control system, we have the ability when we are under turbulence to dampen the shocks linked to the turbulence. So in fact, it's a very smooth ride, like if you were, in silk. And of course, you have something which is invisible, but which is very important for productivity, is the internet link, which allows the customer to still be productive and efficient during his trip, but also to have the ability to relax and see some other things than its own work.
I always pay a lot of attention to the gadgets and how they're integrated. Tell us about how you've designed all of that in.
Well, actually, it's a very customer-centric design. What we try to achieve, and I think we did, it's to have everything at the fingertips of the traveler.
Well, we're just getting started here, kind of the tip of the iceberg. Let's go take a look in the back.
As with pleasure.
The 6X is a long-range aircraft, so that means really long legs, and so it's really important to have a nice place to get some rest, and here we are.
That's correct. Here you are in the Aft Lounge, which on an airplane is the most private lounge, where you can accommodate the owner, for example, when he needs to rest. So you have in this arrangement 2 sofas. They can be either joint or still separate to accommodate 1 or 2 people. You see, we are still talking without wearing masks. This is due to the diameter and the cross-section of the airplane. And you remember that this cross-section is the biggest of any purpose-built business jets.
It's a beautiful aircraft, Carlos. Thank you for the tour. You sold me on it. Will you take a check?
No, cash.
Too bad. Meanwhile, the folks in Canada at Pratt & Whitney, a great team there, have been putting the 6X engine through its paces, validating its safety after bird strikes and blade failures, and verifying its performance on a flying test bed, a one-of-a-kind 747. The 6X engine is a marvel to behold. The PW812D is an engine that comes from a good family, the 800 series. First certified in February of 2015, is performing at a 99.99% dispatch rate. 99.99%. That's as good as it gets, ever. Putting this new member of the family through its paces has gone without any big hitches. The president of Pratt & Whitney Canada is Maria Della Posta. Have you run into any challenges along the way that you didn't anticipate?
We're now at more than 2,500 hours of engine testing, including some 300 hours on the flying test bed, with more than 6,000 cycles accumulated. So doing really well. We're thrilled with what we've seen so far in terms of engine performance, and we're excited to have it on the Falcon.
And what about its performance? New benchmarks abound.
It is the most modern, efficient, environmentally responsible engine in its class. It offers double-digit improvements in fuel burn, emissions, and noise. For the passenger, we've designed the engine to provide an unmatched experience with exceptionally quiet and comfortable cabin. In fact, some customers have said it's smooth as silk. The engine sets an industry standard as well, with 40% less scheduled maintenance activity and 20% fewer inspections than anything in its class.
Perhaps the biggest challenge the team faced had nothing to do with spinning turbines, but rather a spreading virus. I assume the pandemic has presented some challenges for you and your partners and your supply chain.
While we encountered a fair number of challenges along the way, we've been able to keep the program pretty much on track. We've had to learn a lot through this and how to perform critical operations remotely, and I believe this will only strengthen our collaboration going forward.
Do you feel pretty confident that the 6X program won't have to wait for engine development in order to meet its milestones?
Absolutely. We feel very confident, and the teams have been gearing up for this for some time. In fact, the engines to support the first flight have been delivered and are installed and ready to support testing. I would say it's been relatively smooth. We've met all the expectations, and we're pleased that we're hitting all the milestones. So far, so good.
So what will it be like to fly the 6X? It will probably be pleasantly familiar to anyone who has come to love Falcon aircraft. You know, long before the 6X ever takes flight for real, test pilots are pushing the envelope in simulators. Dassault test pilot Tom Vallette spends a lot of time putting a simulated Falcon 6X through its paces. I paid him a visit at the place they call the bench to see how it's going. How much time have you spent on this particular simulator?
Almost 40 days.
40 days. That's a lot of time. I bet you're anxious to fly the real thing.
That's right.
Well, let's see how this one goes. So this is a familiar landscape for anybody who's been in a Falcon cockpit, that there are some differences. Why don't you walk us through what's significant about the 6X?
The thing that is quite different in the Falcon 6X is the width of the aircraft. It's much bigger, so the consequence is in the front we have a much larger cockpit.
We might assume, perhaps wrongly, that the bigger an aircraft becomes, the less nimble it is. Is that the case?
It won't be the case for the Falcon, because we'll still have the agility that we were used to with the Falcon 7X. We'll still have the comfort of the aircraft, because we'll have the same standard as the Falcon 8X. So regarding the flying qualities, the agility of the aircraft, the performance of the aircraft, it will remain the same, but even better.
The secret to that is a vastly improved digital flight control system. It will make it easier to fly steep approaches to challenging airports like London City, and it will make for a much smoother ride at altitude. It's important to think as a pilot, but do you try to think as a passenger too as you do this whole process of testing an aircraft?
When we do some maneuvers, we'll try to say if it's going to fit for the passengers in the back. If we feel too many vibrations, the passengers are not going to like this. So please have a look at it and try to correct this.
All of this will be addressed during the flight testing, which will start soon. It won't be Tom's first flight of a new aircraft design. In December of 2012, he was at the remote controls of Dassault's unmanned combat aerial vehicle, the Neuron, on its first foray. The idea of being, first flight, that's an honor, and there's some pressure, right?
That's right. There's a lot of pressure on this, but this aircraft is going to be very sure, and we are going to be very quick to get it into service.
You feel confident about it?
I feel very confident about it.
Thank you very much, Tom. I really enjoyed that opportunity, and I look forward to an opportunity to fly the real thing, okay? Some final thoughts from Eric. We talked at the outset about Marcel Dassault and his wonderful legacy. His son Serge had such a huge impact on this company, and this is the first Falcon rollout since we lost him. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, special thought to Serge Dassault. He would have liked and he would have been proud to assist to this show, to this event. He was very fond of development of new programs, and 6X process and 6X success would have been very important for him. So really, we have a thought to him. I would like also to address thanks to our shareholder, the Dassault Holding, led by Charles Lindbergh, my predecessor, and also to the Dassault family, Marie-Hélène, Thierry, Laurent, and Olivier Dassault. They are always supporting the company in the development of such new programs, and it's important for the company to know that we got their support.
Still a family company. You must be very proud of this team, proud of the family,
very
right?
proud, yes.
So what's next? Lots ahead for this aircraft, right?
Before to go to the next step, I think that it's time also to address congratulations to the teams, the engineering teams, the manufacturing teams, for the job they have done up to now. And I would like to say good luck to them for the future, because they still have a lot of work to perform up to the deliveries of the first 6X to our customers. I would like also maybe to address a few words to our customers, to the family members, the Falcon family members. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for flying a Falcon, and be sure of the commitment of the company to support you everywhere you may travel 24 hours over 24 hours. That's really a commitment of the company. And for those who have not yet bought but will give a look in this event to this beautiful 6X, I do hope you will fly Falcon soon. You will join the family, you will fly Falcon, and maybe you will fly 6X.
You know, your team, Tom and Bruno, looks like they're getting ready to go fly right now. Do you have some words for them at this moment?
Sure. Now the bird is yours.
All right. Good luck, Tom and Bruno. I know luck is a big part of the Dassault story too, isn't it?
Well, we started with the DNA of the company, with the resilience of Marcel Dassault. I still believe that we also have in our DNA to be lucky. And I think luck is important, especially when you are facing this big crisis and be able to continue to develop the 6X. Luck is important in life.
All right. Thank you all very much for being a part of this special. As far as we know, the first time we've ever had a virtual rollout of an aircraft. We're glad you were a part of it.
Thank you very much, everyone, to have been able to attend this virtual event. And the next step is a real first flight.
Blue skies to you all.